Once upon a time, these forests on the mountain Elgon ranges hosted various communities. They included the Benet Ndoboro and Agiek, who belong to the large Kalenjin ethnic group that lives across the border in Kenya. The Benet and Agiek are also sub-communities of the big Ssebei community, many of who still occupy the lower parts of the Mount Elgon ranges. Their ancestors were originally hunters and gatherers who lived in the forests, surviving on fruits, honey, and vegetables.
And dates back to some 200 plus years. Our ancestors lived there. These were the stewards of the forest.
They also got herbs for treatment from the trees. But with time, they adopted farming and also reared animals.
And that agriculture meant destroying the forest, you see, and depleting the animals which are there. Some of the species are no longer there now, as I speak.
Until the 1990s, not much was known about these communities, save for the fact that they occasionally emerged from the forests to sell crafts, herbs, and vegetables to the Ssebei and Bagishu communities.
Some of them used to have medicine, which were made out of honey mixed with some herbal, and then, and that's how they used to come. And they would come once in a while, and then they go back inside here.
In 1937, when the British colonial government gazetted Mountain Elgon Crown Forest as a protected area, a boundary line was drawn, cutting off the mountain ranges beyond which people are not supposed to live.
The 1937 line is the one which is following. You have seen across there where there is forest. That's 1936 and 37.
That made the beginning of every problem that we are facing right now.
As the population in the forest reserve increased and their activities became counterproductive, government evicted the forest occupants in 1983 and drew a red line to separate the forest from the settlements.
The red line we are talking about, have you seen that school there? The flag is in a nursery. If you have seen a flag flying, that's a nursery. And then there is another flag up there, that is the primary.
They did things hurriedly without even considering the historical background of our people, how they live.
Uganda government came in and resettled us in Kusito temporarily and told us we are just temporarily. Up to today, we have not yet been resettled.
Those who willingly came out, some of them came and they were given those temporary places which I was talking about, pending a major government arrangement.
Some of the people who were involved in the allocation of the land gave themselves chunks of land and did not give adequate proportions of land to the people who deserved the land.
In a bid to stop rapid extinction of some animal species on the mountain, government established Mountain Elgon National Park in 1992, and this covered a big chunk of land occupied by the people. Where I'm standing right now is the compound of Kosil Girls Secondary School, and behind me is the ancestral land of the Benet people. Now, in 1993, the government of Uganda, under an act of parliament, declared the settlement illegal.
Initial 1982-83, when those people were given temporary settlement, it was only a kind of estimated area. But when they come to our position on the ground, they discovered that the area which they had exercised was less than what the people were actually occupying by about 2,500 hectares.
That was Obote 1 and Obote 2 who gave out this land in 1983. Now when our government comes, they say that was another government. So we refer the law. Where a government takes over, you must also take over all the expenses, assets, and the debts.
The establishment of the national park also led to tensions between the nearby communities and staff of Uganda Wildlife Authority.
If we go to the game reserve to look after animals, the Hua comes and arrests us. Even women, when they want to fetch firewood, they go and rape from there.
If your cows are good there, like those ones who are across 15,000 per head of cow, or 10,000, if they can be humble a bit.
I personally am not aware of any such cases that have been brought to our attention. I encourage the population when that happens to report those cases to the police.
In our last visit to the area, we talked both to Uganda Wildlife Authority, and indeed the leadership of Uganda Wildlife Authority was represented during our visit, and we said there must be a ceasefire and people should be treated as people.
In 2000, government conducted a huge eviction exercise, uprooting hundreds of families that settled in Kakwata Forest Village after their houses were brought down.
That was the second eviction. Eviction from there, and then this is the second eviction of 2000.
And eviction was done inhumanly. We were forced to go, but no particular area planned for us to be resettled.
Although some who had money bought plots of land elsewhere, many of the poor evictees settled in Rwanda and Kisangani internally displaced people's camps.
When we don't have anywhere to dig a latrine. When our people die, we still or sneak them inside the national park. At night, or whatever time it's convenient. We might carry as if you are carrying some food, you are carrying a corpse. Secondly, we don't have anywhere to do farming, because even the Tonja farming that we used to survive on was denied completely. What we use here as a latrine is our pigs. We have pigs here as animals. They enjoy that stuff. It is not the easiest way to get rid of that uses out of here at night, because at night is where we enjoy. During daytime we sneak ourselves into there, and we do there. Even pigs are there looking for these areas. Some 2 weeks ago we have given some food from the Prime Minister's office, which could not even feed my people. Because the population is very high, you find in a very big family, we give them 10 kilograms, which cannot even last for 2 days.
I'm also surprised to see that government of Uganda, they pay big attention to refugees, especially in the western side of the country. You find a refugee is given everything possible for a human being. But we Ugandans here in Sebei, we are not attended to.
There have been occasional support and assistance, but really the radical chore, the answer to this, is to ensure that these people who are in these camps are settled as quickly as possible.
Many years since their first eviction, the Benet in Doboro and the other communities have been pressing government to permanently resettle them.
And we are calling about the international community, the Parliament of Uganda, the President himself, to intervene, as the Prime Minister's office has failed.
Case in point, in 1998, when we took stock of these people who were supposed to be resettled, there were only about 480 families in record. So over the time now, we are talking of over 10,000 families.
According to our own investigations, we found out that there's a very big corruption in the office of the Prime Minister.
It's possible. And our duty should be to have an open mind, and an allegation or an accusation of that nature should then be easily investigated so that it can be proven whether there was misconduct by some officials of government or not. And if there was misconduct, then corrective measures should obviously take place.
This has not been helped by the delay by the Office of the Prime Minister to implement the 2011 Presidential Directive to de-gazette the 6,000 hectares London portion to resettle the people. This is the London portion which, according to the letter sent from State House in 2011, the President directed the Prime Minister's office to de-gazette this land for 400 families of the Benet people to be resettled here.
So we set up a task force led by Brigadier General Oluka and some other technical people. They have been doing their work, find out the state of affairs, and make a proposal on the final solution to this long-standing problem of displaced people in Kwen and displaced people in Buko.
It may sound as a small story, but the discontent here is enormous. And if the problem of resettling these people is not handled well in time, one day it may turn out to be a national security problem. Mpoza, NTV.